What is going on, guys? Welcome back here to a brand new video. It has been a minute, and this is going to be a pretty unique video as it's more of an update, and technically it's going to be my first Q&A. So without further ado, let's get started. So you guys know the drill. Grab a coffee, sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's go. All right, so first, it wouldn't be a little Q&A, I guess, if I wouldn't have food to join. Okay, so first question, trend. I'm assuming this means, do I take trend? Or what are my thoughts on trend? I'll be the first to say, I am not doing any steroids at the moment. I don't plan on doing any in the near future. That's at least for sure. And I kind of wish I could talk to you a little bit about it and kind of tell you, I'm assuming it's mostly cons, but I don't really know too much about it. Kind of happy as I don't ever plan on taking trend. So yeah, I'm assuming that's kind of a common question too in arm wrestling is steroids, so not bad. Tips on how to arm wrestle. Now this one's a little bit more of a broader question. Now I can easily sit here for hours, and it would be much easier if I also had someone with me to kind of show you. But I mean, I can give you a quick couple tips on how to arm wrestle. Domino's pizza is very good, by the way. Little Caesars is better. So hooking, top rolling, and pressing. If I'm giving okay, I'm gonna pretend like the person who wants to know this has never arm wrestled once in their life. What would I tell them? One, don't ever let your shoulder, your vision, and everything go away from your arm. Always stand as tight as possible. If you are looking to do a hook, do a nice cup, like an internal movement with your wrist. Get a nice cup in, lean a lot on your bicep, and try to stay in tight at all times. And remember, it's not a pressing game, it's a dragging game. So if I'm hooking, I'm gripping up, hand a little bit lower, you cup in your hand, and then when you're going to pin someone, you kind of like drag your elbow as if you're doing like a lat pull to the side, and you kind of lean and come in to the side. If you're doing a top roll, a little bit different. You'll be taking your hand, you'll be going as high as possible on the other person's hand, in most cases, because there's different types of top rolling as well. And once your hand is as high as possible, you get like a high grip. Make sure you're like your fulcrum, that your elbow to your hand is going as high as possible. And then when it's a ready go, you want to pronate your wrist. So just pronate, it's like an internal rotation movement. And you kind of just want to go to the side, or you kind of want to pull back to your other shoulder. Think of it like, look, I have a bottle of water and I want to dump this water into a cup that's right here. So I'm going to take this, and when it's a ready go, I'm kind of coming in and I'm dumping the water onto my shoulder or into a cup. Hopefully that kind of makes a little bit of sense. And if you're also new to arm wrestling and you're looking at techniques for pressing, first, I don't recommend pressing, especially if you are new in arm wrestling. Well, mostly if you are new to arm wrestling, I think that's a little bit more of an experience thing. And second of all, I don't press myself because I pretty much injure myself every time I do it. But if I were to give a tip on pressing, I would always get my shoulder lined up nice and tight to my arm on a ready go. And when it's when the match starts, you kind of want to make like a hard grip. This is what I would do, a hard grip. And essentially think of it like you're in nice and tight. Nothing is moving, and you just want to drive forward. But you want to have your shoulder in front of your arm. So if it was me, we're doing a ready go. Ready, set, go. Lock in that shoulder, and then I would try to drive and press in with my shoulder. Now, keep in mind, there are going to be people watching this video that are going to not agree on some of these things, if not all of it, or maybe nothing at all. But this is just basic tips for someone who's never pulled before. This is a question, what is going on, bro? How is winter going in Canada? So, I'm making this video in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon to be exact. And I was literally in Winnipeg yesterday, technically this morning, and it was minus 35. Minus 30 freaking 5. I literally go to start my car yesterday morning, and I'm not a word of a lie, it must have taken me 10 to 12 seconds of just holding my key and hearing the starter go, and I can hear the belt just moving very, very slowly. So winter in Canada, for the most part, it's pretty cold, but because I'm technically in the midst of moving to Victoria, if you go to Victoria, there ain't no winter there. So yeah, but winter's all right, but I'm excited to kind of get away from it. When and how did you get into arm wrestling? Also, what is the largest fish that you have caught? Okay, so I got into arm wrestling in 2016. I moved to Nova Scotia through the military. It's just one of those things where most people just don't know about arm wrestling, that it's an actual sport and it's a very competitive thing. And I was in the exact same boat at the time. However, I ended up contacting someone that I saw a link on Facebook, who happens to be Rick Pickney, who is the president of the Arm Wrestling Association in Nova Scotia. And in a nutshell, essentially, I contacted him, figured out it was a real thing, started showing up to some practices, did my first tournament, I believe in 2017. I hurt myself. I didn't do one for a while after that, but I kind of got into it in 2016, 2017. And I also get a lot of questions of like, have you seen Over the Top? Pretty funny. I think every arm wrestler, or at least every arm wrestler, competitive arm wrestler, has seen the movie before. So funny story to that. I also kind of already was doing well in arm wrestling outside of the competition. Like I would always arm wrestle my friends, or at a school, or even at my own home, and I'd always win. So people would be like, I have to arm wrestle Keanu, he's very, very good. And my father also, from the best of my knowledge, was undefeated pretty much my whole childhood. Everybody knew of him as a very, very strong individual who was just insanely good at arm wrestling. So at a young age, I was not good, but as I grew up and kind of discovered the sport, I would like to think that I've came a long way. Also, what is the largest fish you have caught? It's actually a funny question, because for people who follow me on Instagram, I have some fishing pictures, and I also have a fishing Instagram. It's called Gills with McGill, where I post only fishing content. So funny question. So you must have seen one of my bigger fish. If we're talking excursion, it was a sturgeon, and I think it was a small one. It was like 60 pounds, huge for me, but it was small for the excursion itself. And if we're talking like just like fishing on rivers and stuff like that, then it would probably be a chum salmon or a king salmon, and I would probably guess it's around 20-ish pounds, realistically. Zach Hose, 14. Biggest goal of 2022. So for people who know me personally, recently I have actually been pursuing this goal of mine that I have officially started as of yesterday, literally officially as of yesterday. My biggest goal of 2022 is to get my private's pilot's license. Now, I'm kind of leaning towards my recreational license to start, just so I can at least get flying. And for those who don't know, to make this as simple as possible, I want to fly small planes by myself, so I can do my own travel and potentially maybe do appearances or do events where I can kind of show up to an arm wrestling match with a plane. I was officially going to announce it in the upcoming videos, because I would like to do some filming with that. If anyone who's an aviator who flies, or anyone who's interested in planes would like to see that, then leave a comment below. But I'm most likely going to include the content in my videos anyway, so it's kind of a good time to follow me on YouTube if you want to see the upcoming content on flying, future arm wrestling with potentially a plane. I have no idea, but I have ideas, if that makes sense. And while I'm at it, follow me on Instagram if you already haven't, Keanu McGill. How old is Jai's mom? That's an internal joke. Jamie RFT responds, did you watch Logan's left-hand match versus Big Ben, who's 6'8", 300 pounds? If no one has seen this match yet, I kind of recommend you go see it, because I'll try to leave a link in the description below. I think it's through a Facebook link, so I will leave it in the description below. But essentially, it's my really good friend, Logan, who ends up arm wrestling this absolute monster. I think this guy is new to arm wrestling. However, he's 6'8", 310 pounds. Absolutely ridiculous. And if anyone knows Logan, Logan must weigh about 170 or 175 pounds. On a good day, if he's soaking wet, he's probably around 180. But yes, I did recently watch his match against Big Ben, and quite entertaining, to be honest. It was a very good match just based on size of this guy. And apparently I've been hearing rumors that this guy is like literally insanely strong and has so much serious potential into the sport. But I'm not gonna spoil it. You guys need to go see it. Logan is one strong mother. Jamie again. Rate for arm wrestling importance: bicep, table knowledge, grip, wrist strength. So in a nutshell, I wouldn't rate these. I would probably add in more categories and kind of, you know, give my own opinion overall, but I can save that for another video. However, if we're just talking bicep, table knowledge, grip, and wrist strength in order. 1, I would do knowledge, which is experience. And I'll give you a quick reason why. Picture this. You go and you arm wrestle someone, let's say you're arm wrestling one of your friends. You've been arm wrestling for 1 year. And you're not really good at arm wrestling, but you have experience, you have some knowledge. And then you arm wrestle someone who's only arm wrestled in bars or in school, whatever the case may be. If you guys are the same size and you're in relative strength to each other, for the most part, there's a very good chance you're probably gonna end up winning just based on knowledge. Example, you can just see this guy, all he does is he grips up super strong and then he goes to the side and he does side pressure. You've done at least maybe one tournament, or you've been to a lot of practices, or you've watched many videos, and you've obviously had some table time. So you have the knowledge and some experience. In saying that, you see that he's only going straight side pressure, so in your head you're like, I'm probably gonna cut my wrist on this one, or I'm gonna pronate because I don't think he can do well with that. Next thing you know, you've beat him, yada yada, and so on and so forth. So obviously that's not a great example, but overall I do think in this particular order, knowledge and experience will come into play. Second would be bicep. I mean, like I said, this is out of this list. Bicep, of course, if you can at least get your hands cupped in, you have a strong drag or a very strong bicep, which I know some people have absolutely ridiculous strong biceps. And I'll shout one guy out right now. His name is Anthony Biaflor. He pulls out of Toronto. He's one of the Table Monkeys members, an absolute freaking machine on the bicep. So there's a little shout out to you, Anthony, if you're watching this video. Next would be wrist and then grip. Now, I'm a huge grip guy. I really enjoy improving my grip strength, but I'd have to say the wrist, just because you don't want your wrist flopping. And then grip, it's kind of a broad term. What type of grip are we talking about? Arm wrestling grip? Are we talking about just like hand grippers? I definitely think it plays a factor, but in this order, I definitely would have grip last. Isaac Young, 1015 response. Arm wrestling techniques and secrets. This one is also a broad question, just because there's so much out there and it's super easy to find information. You can ask your friend, you can ask anyone who pulls, you can find videos on YouTube, it's all out there. But if there was one thing I could share, especially if you're starting out as an arm wrestler, is watching your opponent before you pull that person. Because if you are watching them on the table and you see how their feet are positioned, or you see what style are they pulling, are they hooking, are they top rolling, are they actually pressing, are they super diverse that they're doing all three before leading up to your match? You have to start thinking in your head, okay, I cannot go into a hook with this guy. It is, my hook is not good, but if I can top roll him and I can see based on his hand positioning, I could probably catch him. Especially in the newer amateurs, or the novice or the amateurs, feet positioning goes a long way and a lot of people are not doing it. So if you can see someone whose feet positioning is very correct, you could probably have a good idea on their experience and how strong or how good they might be on the table compared to you. So definitely I would always be watching how they're pulling. What do they look like? Are their feet on the table? Is their elbow connected tight in with their shoulder? Is their hand high? Is their hand low? Did they hook the first match and then press? Did they just hook the whole time? Did they just top roll the whole time? So, and just kind of getting an overall educated guess on how your match with that person could go. Joseph Bowker, can I have your number? What is the diet you eat before a match? So I have been kind of fortunate. I've never really had to cut or gain an insane amount of weight before actually doing an arm wrestling match. So my diet's been kind of all over the place. Like example, last match I kind of had Subway the morning of. I think I had a 6-inch, a lot of water. I had some Gatorade just to get my blood flow with some sugars. And I usually try to get in like either a coffee or some type of energy booster right before to try to get my heart racing a little bit. But I've been just fortunate enough where I don't need to cut super hard or I need to gain a specific amount of weight. I kind of just eat what I want, and I don't go super heavy before a match anyway because I don't want to puke. Chris Cante, Elisra TS, do you have bearing 365? It's an old Navy buddy of mine. That's another inside joke. Okay, so that's it for the questions on today's Q&A. Now, I'll give you guys a quick update to get this video over because it is kind of, because the video is kind of long here. So why have I not posted somewhat recent when, you know, recently I've been posting every Wednesday? For those who don't know, if you kind of check, Wednesdays seem to be the day that I'm able to put content out. One, I've just moved from Ontario. I'm going to Victoria, so the whole process of moving to Victoria across the country, the list goes on and on. I've just been very, very busy, and I'm honestly doing what I can to put out these videos, but I do have priorities, and soon enough, I'll be able to actually get back into the rhythm of putting out videos. When am I gonna post again? Probably next Wednesday. Actually, this video is gonna go out tonight, which is Thursday. What are we, no, not Thursday. We are Sunday, February 13th. I'm probably gonna put this video out now. As soon as I get back to Victoria, I have some footage I wanna film, and I do have some footage on this trip across Canada, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be very different. I'm kind of excited to put that out as well. But yeah, just exciting things are coming. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. I've been wanting to do a Q&A for a long time now, but just have never gotten to it. However, perfect time to do it while I'm on the road. I'm not getting a lot of arm wrestling done right now. Yeah, arm wrestling the last like month has been an absolute gong show. I'm just very excited to get to the island, get playing with some good friends, start doing some crazy cool content. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It means more than you guys can imagine. And subscribe if you already haven't as well. Most of you are not subscribed. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, and I understand that it takes time, but it's exciting for me when I'm getting new people coming in, and then I can just keep rolling on with the content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Until then, peace.